Just yesterday, Lillymo Games released Tribreaker, a Sacred Symbols Odyssey. So today, I'm going to be ranking all 6 of their games from the worst to the best. My name is James, and I started this channel simply because I love video games. If that sounds like you, please subscribe to my channel so that you can see more videos just like this one. All right, let's just jump in there. Coming in last place is... Hey guys, I'm jumping in real quick from the editing room here. I forgot to mention that I do think all 6 of these games are worth playing, even the one that I put here in last place. Coming in last place is Perils of Baking, Lillymo's very first game. The reason this one comes in at the bottom for me is that a lot of the game really feels like a first try to me. The art and the platforming feels kind of bare bones, and while I don't think that this is a bad game, it's not one that I'm quick to recommend to people. Coming in 5th place is Super Perils of Baking. This one is a remake of that very first game. And this one, I would say, between Perils of Baking and Super Perils of Baking, there's a big gap in quality. I think Super Perils of Baking is wonderfully made, wonderfully designed. The art is beautiful. The platforming is a huge improvement over the original Perils of Baking. The thing that holds it back from being higher on this list for me is that I just don't find it particularly fun to play. Coming in 4th place is Twinbreaker, a Sacred Symbols Adventure. There's a pretty sizable gap for me between Super Perils of Baking and Twinbreaker as well. Twinbreaker is a brick breaker with a actually pretty in-depth story. It is just a brick breaker though. And in that sense, I like that it requires you to master one specific mechanic, and then in order to get the platinum, you do have to be pretty good at the game. The main thing holding this one back for me is that I don't find it as approachable as the 3 games that I have higher up on this list. I do also think it's worth pointing out that this game doesn't have an easy trophy list and a hard trophy list for the PS4 and PS5 versions of the game, as has become typical for Lillymo. And because of that, I think the game is a little bit too hard for people that want a more casual experience, and not quite difficult enough for people that want a more challenging experience. Before I give my top 3, please go ahead and subscribe to my channel. I'm trying to get to 500 subscribers by the end of 2025. Coming in 3rd place is Habroxia. What I like about Habroxia is that it is a pretty simple and straightforward game. I also like the ability to buy and sell different upgrades before each level so that you can kind of respec and change out your loadout depending on what certain levels demand. What prevents this one from being higher up on the list for me is that while the game does have lots of different bosses, a lot of the base levels do feel pretty similar, and I think that can get a tiny bit boring. In 2nd place is Habroxia 2. In Habroxia 2, they expanded on everything that I liked about Habroxia and added a few new elements as well to change things up. I really like that in Habroxia 2, you have the ability to shoot in any direction around your ship. This adds so many options in the way that you can approach enemies and different objectives, and it makes the game feel so fresh and unique. Coming in 1st place is Tribreaker, a Sacred Symbols Odyssey. And what puts this one at the top for me is that it's a lot of fun to play, and it feels like the game is exactly what they intended for it to be. The different level variety keeps the game interesting and keeps you wanting to press on to see what kind of levels are going to be coming next. The separate PS4 and PS5 trophy lists make it approachable by casual players like myself and players who want a more challenging experience. And that's why it comes in at number 1. Guys, thank you so much for watching this video. In the comment section, please let me know how you would rank these 6 games from Lillymo. Until next time, the best way to keep up with me is on Twitter and on Instagram at James_Solar and on Blue Sky at jamessolar.bsky.social. Thanks, guys.